Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Hi, and welcome to Straight Talk About God video. I'm Jack. This is a follow-up video of the Royal Kings of Israel video, because after I did that video, in the video I mentioned Donald Trump with connections to Scotland, okay? But I didn't look up his family tree or anything, and then later on I said, well, maybe I'll look that up and see what happened there for sure, because I knew I had something right, but I didn't know for. So I did. I looked it up, and I found his family tree on one of the websites. I thought, see, you may remember that all the kings and queens of Northwest Europe and the British Isles came out of the High King of Ireland in 583 BC, starting in 583 BC, when he married the daughter of the last king of the nation of Judah, when Nebuchadnezzar conquered the nation of Judah and took them all away to Babylon for 70 years. Right? So Jeremiah, being the grandfather of the king, became the guardian of the king's daughters, because Nebuchadnezzar killed all his sons. Okay? So, and he left the Holy Land and arrived in Ireland with one daughter called Teotephi, the daughter of Zedekiah. Okay? And this marriage brought about two bloodlines of Judah, the Zara bloodline and the Pharez bloodline. But those two lines got together when Teotephi married Yochad, the High King. Okay? So now both of the Judah lines plus the line of David is included into one marriage, and from that resulted all of the rulers of the later nations that were formed by the millions of Israelites from the house of Israel when they migrated west and settled in Northwest Europe and the British Isles. Okay? So I looked it up. I got one. There were, I don't know, 4 or 5 different links that I pulled up on a search, and then one came up with two charts of bloodlines for Donald Trump. Oh, I said, okay. Well, boy, was I surprised. You know, there are, I counted them all up. There's 3 different bloodlines that go down. Okay, and all of those contain 8 kings, 4 queens, 3 princes, 2 princesses, 5 earls, 1 countess, 1 duke, 1 lord, and 1 president. You maybe remember I said that it doesn't have to be a king. The ruler over a nation of Israelites is going to be of the bloodline. But he's not called king all the time. All the kings that are in the bloodlines for Trump, Trump isn't a king. Huh? Okay, anyway, his bloodlines go back to Norway, Denmark, Scotland, the British Isles, and even touches a little bit far distant relatives in Iceland. Iceland. Huh? Now, one fact about Iceland, William the Conqueror came down from the north and conquered England, right? Okay? His brother didn't come down with him. He migrated over to the west and established the capital city of Iceland, Reykjavik, right? And that's why the bloodline from I just said his name, right? From William the Conqueror. Okay? That bloodline contains over into Iceland. See? So there's a connection between Trump and Iceland. Okay? So I'm going to put up the charts now, these two charts, and I'll just talk over them while you can look at it. You could take a screenshot of both of these as they come up. But there's one, the one we're going to talk about first is headed up by, if you can see that, Trump's picture is there, and there's a queen over to the right-hand side of Trump. That's Queen Margaretha of Denmark today. Trump today and the Queen today. Okay? And it all starts with that top two people, the Stewart family. Okay? There's what's his name? John Stewart is married to Elizabeth Stewart. Elizabeth is the name underneath Trump's picture. Okay, and then the line goes down, and they had two children. They maybe had more, but these two are the ones that are listed. Matthew is the fourth Earl of Lennox. John Stewart is the third Earl. Okay, but on the other side, he's married to Elizabeth Gordon. Okay, and out of the bloodline under the Queen is a whole bunch of royalty: 5 kings, 4 queens, 3 princes, 1 princess, and 2 earls. Right, all the way down to the bottom person that you see there, and that's the Queen of Denmark today. Okay, or when this chart was made up. Okay, the other side that goes down underneath Trump, it comes from 2 different places. One place comes from the Stewart family. Okay, and if you notice, there's another one that goes up next to Trump's picture, and it starts way up on top there with King Christian the First of Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. Ooh, all 3 of those. Huh? Okay. But the second chart that we're going to look at will contain 6 generations above that to the King of Norway, King Haakon, Haakon, of Norway. Okay. Now on this chart here, it's got all these kings in there on the Stewart line, but the line that goes over under Trump, there's only one title person in that line down from there. The first one that comes out is Elizabeth Gordon. She's a countess of Sutherland, and then there's Alexander Gordon out of her bloodline, out of her marriage, who is the 12th Earl of Sutherland, and then he's married to the person that's right straight across from him, Jane Gordon. Okay, and out of those 2 people come all the people in that single line all the way down to ends with Donald Trump. And there's 3 kings, 2 earls, 1 countess, and 1 lord in that whole side. Okay? But above King Christian I of Denmark, Sweden, and Norway is 6 generations that go back to the king of Norway, right? That was Haakon, King Haakon. And that's what we're going to look at in the second chart, okay? So here's the second chart, and that doesn't show the Stuart line. It just shows the King of Norway line, okay? And under the king's picture, there's all of those people listed, and there's no titled people in there at all, except for the king himself. And on the very bottom is the president of Iceland. Iceland. Well, if the president of Iceland has the bloodline that includes the king of Norway, then, and the king of Norway's bloodline goes over to the place underneath Trump's picture and ends with Trump, then Trump and the president of Iceland have bloodline connections. They might be very distant connections, a 51st cousin, or I don't know how long that is, But it shows the first 6 generations above King Christian that we had on the other chart. So out of the king of Norway, the first person is Engelberg, and he's married to Agnes Hockestetter underneath the king there, right? And out of that marriage, Princess Euphemia, and she's the princess of Norway and Sweden. And then the 4th generation down is another Engelberg, and the 5th generation is Gerhard VI. It was the Duke of Schleswig and Holstein, and the 5th generation is Helwig of Holstein and Rendeburg. The 6th generation is King Christian, the first out of Denmark. Okay, and it ends, of course, with Donald Trump. 25 generations later, and it goes farther back than that. I mean, you trace back the king, and we've got all these kings from all these different countries that are Israelite countries. Denmark is an Israelite country, ruled by some ruler with the bloodline that goes back to Judah and David. They're all there. Okay? So, what does that mean then? Okay. Donald J. Trump has a bloodline connection to the tribe of Judah and the king and King David. Right? And it all started back in Ireland in 583 BC. Oh, I didn't know you were there. I'm just reading. Okay, 583 BC. Does he know that? Of course he does. He knows his connections back through Scotland, and one of the kings, actually a couple of the kings. Let me take a look here. Who is it here? See, King James the IV of Scotland. Scotland. Here's another Scotland over here on the other chart. That's King James the VI of Scotland, right? And then there's King George of Great Britain, King George II, Great Britain, Frederick, Prince of Wales, King George III, United Kingdom, Edward, Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom, right? The United Kingdom is Ephraim, the birthright son of Joseph. Ephraim. They're all David kings. They're all David kings. And so is it's really good because not too long ago, just months ago, there was a whole country was full of protests, different places, on kings protests. Remember? No kings protest. Well, they were right in one respect, because you could say that Trump is the king. He's the president, but he's got the king's bloodlines, the same as all the other kings of Northwest Europe and stuff, of David and Judah. So they said no kings, but they were right, but wrong. That's it. Okay. Thanks a lot for watching. God bless.